Today we are going to see the unit load application, unit load method for calculating vertical and horizontal deflection in pin jointed frame, that is truss. In this we will use this formula sigma FUL upon AE, summation of all the forces about AE. As you know that pin jointed frames, that is truss, are essentially an axially loaded member, because of which there will no bending or shear in the member, only axial force will be there. So we are using the formula for strain energy for axial load, strain energy for axial load, that is PL upon AE. So based on that energy concept, we have got this formula where F is the axial force in the member in the real system and small u is the axial force in the virtual system. So how we are going to make virtual system from the real system? So this is the virtual system for calculating horizontal deflection, and this is the virtual system for calculating the vertical deflection. So there are two things how to make virtual system for calculating U forces. First thing, of the given real system, remove all the loads, then apply unit load and ask two questions, where we should apply and how we should apply. So first answer is we should apply at the point where deflection is required. Suppose we want horizontal deflection, so we will put unit load in horizontal direction, and suppose we want vertical deflection, we will put unit load in vertical direction. So this is the real system and this is the virtual system, in which we have removed this applied load and replaced it with the unit load in the same direction in which deflection is required. We have to solve the truss twice using the method of joints. First we have to calculate for real forces, then we have to calculate for virtual forces. So step 1 is to calculate the reaction. So this is the given real system, so we will use equations of equilibrium to calculate the reaction. First equation we will use is sigma Fx is equal to 0. So from that we will get this value, Xa is equal to 4. So only two forces are there about x-axis, so it should be equal and opposite. So we can write Xa is equal to 4. Va and Vb are the two vertical reactions, and there is no other vertical force, so we can write that Va plus Vb is equal to 0, means summation of both the vertical forces is 0, as there is no vertical external load. So from this we can conclude that magnitude wise Va will be equal to Vb, but it will be opposite in direction. So I have shown this with downward arrow, and here the reaction Vb, it is shown in upward arrow. Because of this, the external load has tendency to rotate clockwise. So these two reactions should form and tendency to rotate anti-clockwise. Then only the system will be in equilibrium. So what we do, we take moment about this point. We take moment about A, will write at sigma moment about A is equal to 0. Summation of moment of all the forces about point A is 0. So as we can see that Xa and Va, they are passing through point A, that means there is no perpendicular distance from point A of these forces, that is 4 kilonewton and this reaction. So we can write Vb into 8. What is the perpendicular distance from A to B? It is 8. And what is the tendency? It will rotate anti-clockwise about point A, and this will rotate clockwise about point A. So what is the distance? Will extend this force up to this point, and this will be the perpendicular distance. So the perpendicular distance is 3. So we'll write 4 into 3 is equal to Vb into 8. So we get 8 Vb is equal to 4 into 3. Now from this we get that Vb is equal to 1.5, and if you substitute in this, we know that Va is equal to minus of Vb. So Va will be in magnitude equal to Vb only, but it will be opposite in direction. Using unit load method, it is very convenient to draw this table and put in all the values. So this table is very important. We have to put in all the values in this, and this summation, this value will be the final answer. So we'll start with, we know the formula is FUL upon AE. So what is F? We have to calculate the force in the members. We have to calculate forces in the member AB, AC and BC. And what is small u? This is for virtual system. We will replace all the load and we'll remove all the load and replace it with unit load, and then again we'll find the values of forces in members AB, AC and BC, and this term is L upon AE. So how we will find the value of AB? Total length of AB is 4 plus 4, 8. Total length of AB is 4 plus 4, and assuming that all the members have cross-sectional area A and modulus of elasticity E. So simply we'll keep it as constant and we'll write 8 upon AE. Now we want to find the length of member AC. So what we do, we construct a triangle like this. So this length is 4, this height is 3, so this will be 5. Similarly by symmetry, this length is 4, this height is 3, so the hypotenuse will be 5. So we can write that AC and BC are 5 upon AE. Now we calculate the forces in all the members. So as you can see that joint A is having two reactions. Why? Because it is hinged, and whereas joint B, it is also a support, it is carrying a roller support, so only one reaction will be there. We will use method of joint. In that we have to use two equations of equilibrium, that is sigma fx is equal to 0 and sigma fy is equal to 0. So we can use equations of equilibrium at a point where only two unknowns are there. So in this we can see that at joint C there are two unknown members, and we will name it as FCA and FCB, and we'll consider the equilibrium of joint C, and we find that there are two unknown members FCA and FCB along with this external load of 4 kN. It is also at point C only. Now we resolve these forces. The components of FCA along the axis will be FCA cos theta, and along this axis it will be FCA sin theta, and the components of FCB will be FCB cos theta and FCB sin theta. So we'll reduce it in this form. These are the three horizontal forces and these are the two vertical forces in our system. So first we'll do summation of forces about x-axis. We'll try to form equation with this. So this is along the negative x direction, so we'll write as minus FCA cos theta, and these two forces are along positive x direction, so we'll write as FCB cos theta plus 4. So in this equation there are two unknowns, so we cannot solve it, so we'll come to sigma Fy. Writing from this we'll get that both the forces, the component of the forces are towards the negative y direction. So we'll write minus FCA sin theta and minus FCB sin theta is equal to 0. So solving this we'll get this equation FCA is equal to minus of FCB. What does this means? Again it means that force in member FCA and force in member FCB by magnitude will be same, but they will have opposite nature. Opposite nature means one will be in tension, the other will be in compression. Now what we do, we'll put this value in this equation. In place of FCA we will write minus FCB. So minus FCA is replaced by minus FCB will be plus FCB cos theta plus FCB cos theta plus 4 is equal to 0. When we solve we will get FCB is equal to minus 2.5 and FCA is equal to plus 2.5. See, when we started this numerical we assumed that the forces in the member as tension. The direction of arrow was moving away from the joint, that is tensile force. So if the value is works out to be positive, it means that the member is in tension, and after solving if we get the final value as negative, that means the member is not in tension, it is in compression. So like this we have solved the two forces, F force in member AC and force in member BC. Now we are left with force in the member AB. So we will consider the equilibrium of joint B, and there are two forces, FBA and FCB. The value of FCB is already known to us and it is inclined at an angle theta. So again we can resolve this into two components. One reaction is also there. So this inclined force we will resolve about in two components. One will be FCB cos theta and the other will be FCB sin theta. So the value of FCB is minus 2.5. So we'll put it as it is. FCB is equal to minus 2.5, and this component will be sine component and this component will be cosine component. And FBA, which is unknown, it is already horizontal force, so we'll write like this. So this is unknown, FBB. So what we find is, we will not use sigma Fy. In place of that we will use sigma Fx is equal to 0. So considering the equilibrium of forces about x-axis, we will get this equation. What is the equation? So it is FBA, after resolving it is going to negative side, minus FCB cos theta. But the value of FCB is minus 2.5. So when we substitute minus of minus 2.5, it will be plus. So when we solve FBA from this equation, we will get it as 2 kilonewton with positive sign. So positive sign means the member is in tension, as we already assumed FBA value to be tension. This arrow indicates the member is in tension, and assuming that we got a value, positive value, it means that our assumption is correct. The direction of force in the member is as we assume. So now once real system is done, we have calculated forces in all the three members. Now we have to calculate the U forces, small u forces. So how we create the virtual system? Virtual system is created by real system only. The geometry of and support of the system remains the same. Only we have to remove the external load, and in place of external load we have to put a unit load at the place where we want to find the deflection. So as per the question, we want to find horizontal deflection at C. So at C we'll put a unit load. So this will be the virtual system for calculating U force of the structure. So because of this external force of 4 kilonewton, the force in this member is, say, X. Force in this member is X. And if we double this, what will be the effect of the force on the member? It will be 2x. Suppose if we reduce this external force to half, so what will be the effect on this? The force in the member will be reduced by half. So what we are doing, we are replacing the external load with a unit load. So the magnitude of forces in all the members will be 1/4. But this is only possible in case the system carry only single load, and for virtual system it is replaced by unit load in the same direction. So if we do that, all the forces will be in the member will be changed proportionally. So what we see, if the force in the member was 2, for unit load it will be 2/4. So it works out to be plus 0.5. For force in member AC, the external force was 4, so we got the value 2.5. Now the external load is 4/4, that is 1. So we will divide it by 4. So 2.5 by 4 is equal to plus 0.625, and this was minus 2.5, so it will be minus 625. Now we want to calculate this term, FUL upon A. So simply multiply these three columns. First column is F, then U, then L. So when we multiply all this, 2 into 0.5 will be 1. So the final value is 8 upon EI. This value will be 2.5 into 6.25 into 5. When we sum it, we will get the value of sigma PUL upon A. The value of A and E is also given in the question. So you can get a definite value of deflection, horizontal deflection at C by substituting the value. So this is the second problem on unit load method for solving vertical and horizontal deflection on a pin jointed frame, that is truss. In this question, the given truss, we have to find the vertical deflection about point E. The value of A and E is given in the problem. So in the unit load method, we have to use two systems. First one is the real system for calculating F force, and then we have to convert this real system into virtual system for calculating U forces. How we do that? We simply remove all the forces. There are 4 external forces in this. What we do, we have removed all the external forces, and then we have applied a unit load at the point E where we have to find the deflection. In this case, we have to find vertical deflection, so we have put a vertical unit load. So this is our real system. Will calculate the support reactions for the given external loads. We'll use our equations of equilibrium. See, point C, as you can see, it is having hinge support, so we'll have 2 reactions and only one horizontal force is there, that is 15 kilonewton. It is going towards the left hand side of the screen, so horizontal reaction at C would be towards the it will go towards the right hand side of the screen. So by sigma fx is equal to 0, we can write as hc is equal to 15, and when we do use our second equation, that is sigma fy is equal to 0, we have to sum all the vertical forces. Summation means to add up using sign. So these 2 forces are in upward direction and these 3 forces are in vertical downward direction. So what I do, I keep the upward forces on one side of the equation, Ra plus Rc is equal to the downward forces I am keeping on the other side of the equation. So we get Ra plus Rc is equal to 55. Now what we do is we'll take moment about point A. So sigma moment about point A means summation of moment of all the forces about point A is going to be 0. So first thing we should check is that which forces will not give any moment about this point. So we extend this force, 25 kilonewton force, it will pass through point A. That means this force will not give any moment. When we extend this xc, that is the horizontal reaction at C, will also not give any moment about point A, and this vertical reaction at A will not give any moment about this point. So we are left with 3 external forces, 10, 15 and 20 kilonewton forces, and 1 vertical reaction, that is Rc. So what is the perpendicular distance from A to C? It is 4. So we will write Rc into 4, and it has tendency to rotate anti-clockwise. And this 15 kilonewton, what is the perpendicular distance? It is having perpendicular distance 2 meters from the point A. So it will also have a tendency to rotate anti-clockwise. Whereas these 2 forces, 10 kilonewton and 20 kilonewton, they will have tendency to rotate clockwise. So what is the perpendicular distance for both the forces? It is 2 only. So we can write 4 into Rc plus 10 into 2 plus 20 into 2 and minus 15 into 2, because this has tendency to rotate anti-clockwise and these have tendency to rotate clockwise. So solving this, will get Rc is equal to 7.5. This value will be 7.5 upward, and Ra will be 47.5. We have calculated the reactions, and now it's time to solve the member forces. First thing we have to calculate is this P force or F force, the forces in the member due to the real forces. So we have to identify a joint where there are only 2 unknowns. Why we want to find joint with 2 unknowns? Because we have only 2 equations with us, and with 2 equations we calculate 2 unknowns. So we try to find out which is the joint which is having 2 unknowns. So here it is joint F and joint D. They are having only 2 unknowns. So we will solve this first. So this is our system, and this is the force diagram for joint D. So there are 3 forces, FDE. This is force in member DE, and FDC and this 15 kilonewton load. So we put our equations of equilibrium. When we solve sigma Fx is equal to 0, we find that FDE is on the negative x direction and 15 kilonewton is also in the negative x direction. So we write as minus 15 and minus FDE is equal to 0. So solving this, we got the value of FDE as minus 15. Use the equation sigma Fy is equal to 0. We find that there is only one force and no external force is there. So this will be 0 for equilibrium. Sigma Fy, FDC will be 0. Now we see the force in member, force in the joint F. So there are three members, three forces, Fe, then FFA, and then we will use our equation of equilibrium. First we will use sigma Fx is equal to 0, and we find that there is only one horizontal force about the point F. So this has to be 0 for equilibrium. Now we are left with these two forces. Whenever in a system it is a two-force system, it has to be equal and opposite. From equation we will find that minus FFA minus 25 is equal to 0, as both the forces are downward. So when we solve, we get that FFA is equal to minus 25. That means force in the member is 25 and nature is compression. Now we have got this value FE, FA, ED and DC. Now we'll come to joint A and we'll try to find the value of FE, FAE and FAB. So the force diagram of joint A is as like this. So this is an inclined force and we know the value of FAF as 25 only. Reaction is also known to us. So what we do, we use our equations of equilibrium. First we solve sigma Fy. First equation we'll use is sigma Fy to find the value of AE. So what we do, FAF, that is downward, is taken as negative. Then after resolving this, we'll get FAE sin theta. FAE sin theta. Because the value of theta is 45 degree, we can use sin 45 or cos 45 because they both are 1 by root 2 only. So in place of sin 45, you can use cos 45 also because both the values are same. Plus 47.5. It is going up. The upward forces are taken as positive. These two forces are taken as positive as they are going up. And FAF is downward, so we are taking it as minus 25. Solving this, we get FAE is equal to 31.82 and minus sign shows that it is not tension, it is compression. Then when we solve the equation sigma Fx is equal to 0, we get FAE cos 45 plus FAB is equal to 0. So FAE is minus 31.82 and cos 45 or sin 45 both are same. Value is 0.707. So when we solve it, we get FAB is equal to 22.5. So this is a positive value. It means that the member is in tension. Now we'll come to joint B. In B there are four forces and they are forming a plus sign. So this is going to be very easy. When we do sigma Fx, FBA is equal to FBC, and when we do sigma Fy, this force will be equal and opposite to FBE. So this is the equation. When we do sigma Fy, FBE minus 20 is equal to 0. That means FBE is equal to plus 20. That is 20 tension. Then when we do sigma Fx is equal to 0, these two forces will be equal and opposite. So we get the equation FBA is equal to FBC. FBC is already calculated as 22.5. So we'll know that FBC is also 22.5 with positive sign. So all the forces are calculated here. So we have tabulated it. Now we come to our U forces, that is the virtual system. In the virtual system we have removed all the forces, and at the place where we wanted to find the vertical deflection, we have put our unit load also. So now the best thing is we need to know how to identify zero forces in a truss. So one concept is L joint with no external force. L joint with no external force, and the other one is T joint with no external force. So first we'll see that what is L joint. In joint F only two forces are there. Similarly in joint D again two forces are there and they are forming L shape. So this is a case when members are forming L joint and there is no external force. When we use equations of equilibrium, that is sigma fx is equal to 0, we find that force in this member will be 0. And when we do sigma fy, then we will find the force in this member will be 0. If the angle is not 90 degree, then also the forces in both the members will be 0. Right? You can try this. And so these four forces are going to be 0 from this L concept. Now we come to joint B. We find that it is a T sort of joint. Means BA and BC members are collinear and force in member BE is perpendicular to it. So we'll consider the equilibrium of this joint. So what we find that when we do sigma fx, we find that F1 is equal to F3, and from sigma Fy is equal to 0, we will find that force in this member will be also 0. So this is a shortcut to find the 0 forces in truss members. So these forces are already known to us that these forces are 0, these forces are 0. Now we want to find these values. So we will consider the equilibrium of joint A. So this is the force diagram for joint A. FAF is already 0. So we are left with two forces. So we'll use equations of equilibrium. This angle is 45 degree. So we can write this equation as, for sigma Fy is equal to 0, FAE cos 45 plus RA, both are going upward, so both the values are taken as positive, is equal to 0. See, again I am telling that in case angle is 45 degree, you can use sin 45 and cos 45 anywhere because both the values are same, right? So solving this, we get FA is equal to minus 707, that is minus sign, that means the number is in compression. Likewise, when we resolve this force about x-axis, we get FAE cos 45. So FAE cos 45 plus FAB is equal to 0. When we solve this, we get FAB is equal to plus 0.5. Plus indicates that member is in tension. So all the forces are now known. From symmetry, FAE will be equal to FCE. From symmetry we can find that FAE will be equal to FCE and FAB will be equal to FBC. So E will be equal to F. So this, from symmetry we can write like this. Now we have to multiply this F into U into L upon A. So these three columns will multiply and right here. So 0.5 into 2 is 1. So we are left with 22.5. If any term is 0, the final product will be 0. So we are only left with this 4 terms. When we add up all this, we will get 130 upon AE. And when we put the values of A and E, we will get an absolute value of 2.6 millimeter. The positive sign indicates that the direction is downward because we have put the unit load vertically downward at point E and the value is coming positive. That means displacement is along the assumed direction of the unit load, right? So these are some of the practice problems. In this question we have to find both horizontal and vertical deflection. Now this is a simple question. For this we will use these two virtual system. One is for vertical load at C, the other one is for horizontal load at C. So these are the F forces, these are the U forces for vertical deflection for this, and these are the U forces for the horizontal deflection. So when we multiply F into U into N, we will get the horizontal deflection, and when we multiply F into V into N, we will get the vertical displacement and horizontal displacement, and putting the value of AE, we will get the final answer. Here we find that this, for horizontal deflection, the value is negative. That means displacement is not along this, it is along this direction. So deflection will be opposite to the direction of assumed direction of unit load. This is another problem based on which we have to calculate the vertical deflection at point C. So that's it.